Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Southern Secrets, Exploring the Deep South Unique Culture. The title seems a bit funny, but other than that, this is the sort of video that I'm always going to enjoy doing, because I love doing these sorts of reactions to different regions in the US, especially the South, because it just seems to have so many different regions where you can do so many different things, and the culture, the history, the food, the friendliness of the people. The style of the buildings, for me, I love the style of the buildings. Like, for example, this sort of style of city or town, you won't see anywhere else with this geography around it. That's another one. The geography is absolutely unreal. But this is a mad looking place. It's beautiful. From this view, there's like, I mean, what do you call those mountains? Whatever you'd call them. You've got this in the background. You've got these trees, multicoloured. The buildings seem to stand out. There's like a fucking red barn here, whatever that's about, and then there's like a church here, or like maybe like a city hall or something. And yeah, it just seems like a very nice sort of view of the South. But I guess we're going to see what this video shows us. Hopefully you're going to enjoy. Let's jump into this.
Regions of the US are different. From New England's aggressive, rabid, and often violent obsession with their pro sports teams, or the Midwest having the audacity to call soda pop. Nothing even comes close to the grits-eating, sweet tea, bless your heart South, where college football is king. Or maybe you've driven in the Deep South and realized that it takes 14 minutes to go 3 miles because drivers are just letting everyone in, and the Bostonian mass hole in you just wants to get from point A to point B without making friends on the highway.
Wow.
But for this, we're not just looking at the South, but the Deep South. The Deep South was first used to describe the subregion of states that were economically dependent on plantations, and thus, by default, slavery as well. For this list, we will define the Deep South as Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. So what is it that makes them so different? Check this list out to find out what separates the Deep South from the Deep North. The accent.
The Deep North.
For some people, the charm and politeness of the Southern accent is the backdrop to a romantic setting of an antebellum love story. But there's a Southern accent, and there's a deep Southern accent, or the famous drawl that many of us can do a botched imitation of. Many would argue.
Howdy there, partner. That was so shit. That was so bad. Howdy, is that actually, like, is that a term that's even used? Like, maybe like, I don't know, like maybe not in like cities, but maybe in like towns and stuff, like town folk. I don't really know. Is howdy actually really used? Like, it must be, because it's always what I think of when I think of the South. Just another way of saying hello. It's just a Southern way to say it.
Argue that Louisiana is an accent all of its own with Cajun English, then there's African American vernacular English, and of course there's the upper class Savannah accent, which, as Andy from The Office so eloquently explained, sounds as if you have molasses in your mouth. The biggest discussion you'll hear about the accents is distinguishing the Southern drawl from the Southern twang. To a Northern or Western ear, they may all sound the same, but if you are from Georgia, there is no mistaking a Georgian from a Mississippian. Vehicle merging. Seems silly.
Vehicle merging. This is a very confusing looking road. Where is this?
That this gets its own category.
And also, is this like specifically like a difference in the South of the US?
But hear me out. It's been well documented that the best way to merge is with the zipper merge. If 2 lanes need to become 1, the most efficient way to do this is for all the cars to maintain both lanes until the point of the merge, in which each car then takes turns, like a zipper, to enter the single lane. Sounds simple, right? Well, apparently this is not simple in the South. There have been so many times driving in the
Look at this. What the hell is this scenery? That's pretty cool.
The South, where all the cars are in the left lane, whilst the right lane is wide open for miles. But then, there it is. The electric sign that reads in all its electronic glory, "Merge 4 miles ahead!" That one sign, completely and utterly ignorable in the rest of the country, sends drivers into a tizzy. And for any northerner that attempts to get into said right lane and bypass the traffic, hoping to get to the front and zipper merge, think again. Southerners have a system for dealing with this. Enter the truckers. Throughout the 4-mile nightmare, an 18-wheeler will randomly appear in the right lane, not moving forward, but not quick to get
Look at this scenery as well. God damn.
over either. They are strategically placed there as a nuisance for New Yorkers to keep them from following basic engineering principles. Southern history.
Right.
This should be pretty obvious. The South historically built its economy on agriculture, which included large plantations worked on by enslaved people. They seceded from the Union, joined the Confederacy, fought a war, lost a war, rejoined the Union, enacted Jim Crow laws and segregation. You get the picture. The Southern states have a sordid past. I spoke with a man from Louisiana recently. We're talking a 66-year-old man to be exact, and he said he remembers the first time that he swam with black children. The South doesn't just have a unique long ago history. It has a unique recent history. But it's not all bad. The Deep South was also home to the birth of the Civil Rights Movement. One may argue that the movement only came from the South because racism existed in the South, but if recent history has taught us anything, it's that racism is found in all 50 states, and thus it was the South that led the movement bringing social justice to the northern states as well. The food.
There you go.
Southern cuisine covers a broad, diverse range of dishes.
What is that? I'm trying to guess what this is. Is this just chicken? This looks like if that is chicken, well, it's got gravy on top. It's not a biscuit though, is it?
To the northern states as well. The food.
What is that? I'm actually baffled. It doesn't look like chicken, so I don't think it is.
Southern cuisine covers a broad, diverse range of dishes.
Could be wrong there.
What's popular in New Orleans may not even appear on a Georgia menu, but some foods are just so uniquely South that it needs to be mentioned on this list. Grits. If you are not from the South, you may have heard of grits but never seen them. It's a creamy cornmeal cooked like a porridge and slathered with butter. After watching Southerners chow down on grits at the local Waffle House, it can only be concluded that grits is an excuse to eat butter. Sweet tea is another one. If you order an iced tea anywhere else, they will typically ask if you want it sweet or unsweet, not in the South. Assume that it's a glass of sugar with a drop of tea.
Wow.
Boiled peanuts are another
Boiled peanuts.
marvel of the South. Originating in Africa, the delicacy was brought over by enslaved Africans and now finds itself in gas stations, truck stops, and local side-of-the-road vendors. Another wonder from down under is the fried food. Fried everything.
Hell
Fried
yeah.
chicken on a stick.
Hell
fried
yeah.
pickles. Fried okra. Fried
I want to try fried okra. I feel like it's something that would be really satisfying to eat.
green tomatoes. Fried Oreos, and so on. They could all be
I think the Scottish people, not the Scottish people. I think Scottish people would appreciate this as well. They do love their fried certain foods as well. Specifically Mars bars. Are Mars bars a thing in the US? I can't actually remember. I don't think they are. Just like a chocolate bar. A fried Mars bars. It's just known. So yeah, I feel like they'd appreciate this.
a heart attack waiting to happen. Southerners love their greens. Turnip greens, collard greens, and mustard greens easily accompany a piece of fried chicken. Another complement to fried chicken are waffles. You haven't really lived until you've had chicken and waffles. The religion.
I haven't lived then. I have not lived. And it's such a shame because one of my favourite places that me and my girlfriend eat, and one of her, actually I think it's actually her favourite place, it's a Waffle House place. So you can get sweet and savoury waffles. But there's never the option to have fried chicken on a waffle. And also it's not sweet waffles. I think it's actually savoury waffles. In terms of the actual waffle has not got sugar in it, I don't think. Even in the sweet desserts, the waffle's not sweet. I don't know how it would work in one of these sort of waffle houses or these waffles that you have for breakfast. These waffles that you have here, are they already sweetened waffles? That's actually a question that I want to know because obviously you put syrup on, you've got fried chicken. Is the waffle already sweet and then you just add more sweet, or is it like a sort of a savoury waffle that isn't sweet? I don't know. But yeah, the Waffle House that I go to, there's never this as an option, which is a shame because I would love to have this. But I did have pulled pork on a waffle like this, an unsweetened waffle, and that was quite good, to be fair. I'll be honest. Maybe it sounds a bit mental to people, but it was quite good. And I actually had pickles? Not pickles. Is it pickles? Gherkin pickles? Yeah, I think it is pickles. I'm confused. I think it is because I've never really liked them before. But I had it with the pulled pork and the waffle, and I actually enjoyed it. I don't like them on their own, but when they're with stuff like that, I actually really enjoyed it.
You've had chicken and
Before I say
waffles. The religion. The Deep South is completely inside the Bible Belt, so it's no surprise that religion will be a way of life in the South. The dominant religion is Southern Baptist. In fact, Southern Baptists are the largest evangelical Protestant group in the United States. While most immigrants were flooding the Northeast, the South remained relatively homogenous in terms of religious diversity. Another denomination that has thrived in the South is the Methodist Church, most famously known for being pacifists. The religious revival movement, known as the Second Great Awakening, transformed America from the 1790s to the 1830s. Christianity was used as a weapon against enslaved people by using verses demanding that they remain compliant. On the other hand, Christianity thrived among enslaved people as a means of salvation from their captivity. The suppressed religions of the enslaved, like the Yoruba and other African traditions, endured through adaptation and blending with Christianity. The result is a church on every corner. Southern fast food and restaurants.
Where is this?
The result
Where the hell is this church? I mean, I can't even see all of it, but it looks flipping huge.
Is a church on every corner. Southern fast food and restaurants. Forget In-N-Out Burger and don't bother looking for a Jewish deli. The South is all about its Chick-fil-A and Waffle House.
There you go, Waffle House. So that's what I was asking. With like Waffle House here, yeah. Like, because obviously I guess this place is probably similar to what I'm saying. The place that I eat at. It's actually called Waffle House in the UK as well. But it's more of like a, like this is sort of like it's a fast food chain. The one that I eat at is more of, I guess, like a, it's not cheap. It's just not as fast foody, I guess. But yeah, with this place, do you get like sweet and savory? I'm talking about specifically just the waffles. You get sweet and savory waffles. So some waffles are sweet and some aren't. I assume you probably do, but I don't really know how it would work in the US, because maybe you wouldn't, and it would just be like you'd have a sweet waffle with your savory foods, if that makes sense. I don't know though.
Hailing from Hapeville, Georgia in 1946, Chick-fil-A was originally called Dwarf Grill. It all started with a boneless chicken breast, breaded, seasoned, and served on a toasted, buttery bun with 2 pickle chips. Today, they still make the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich the same way. A mere 20 miles northeast of the first Chick-fil-A, and 9 short years later in 1955, Waffle House opened its doors for the first time. Waffle Houses are open 24 hours a day, and right up until the COVID pandemic, most Waffle Houses didn't even have a lock on their doors. If it never closes, it never locks. Another Southern favorite comes from Louisiana and serves up fried chicken. That's Popeyes. It's the Deep South's answer to KFC. Popeyes is also good for biscuits and white gravy that has the consistency of concrete. Delicious. Mammy's Cupboard is its own category. One of the absolute
Wait, is this a restaurant?
weirdest things in all of the South. That's right, Mammy's Cupboard. Capitalize on the Mammy archetype that was made famous in Gone with the Wind. It still stands in 2023
This is mad. This building is insane.
despite its obvious offense. The restaurant stands at 28 feet tall and is in the shape of a Mammy caricature. Her large hoop skirt opens up into the
Wait, so is there multiple? Has the Mammy changed colour? Because maybe there's a different one.
Mammy's Cupboard is its own category. One of the absolute weirdest things in all of the South. That's right, Mammy's Cupboard. It was founded in 1940 in
Is this a different one?
Natchez, Mississippi, to capitalize on the Mammy archetype that was made famous in Gone with the Wind.
Confused.
It still stands in 2023 despite its obvious offense. The restaurant stands at 28 feet tall and is in the shape of a Mammy caricature. Her large hoop skirt opens up into the dining room and gift shop. It took until 1979 for it to be considered an offensive eyesore, and it was going to be torn down. Instead, they painted the Mammy's skin lighter to avoid being such an
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, okay.
obvious stereotype. Not sure if that helped any. So, is it offensive or isn't it? Well, that depends on who you ask. The authors of Frommer's USA said that if you want to visit the restaurant, you need to check your political correctness at the door. That probably says it all. Regardless, the restaurant has become iconic and in some ways is a window into the Old South, and a reminder of a life very different than anywhere else. What are your thoughts on Mammy's Cupboard? Whether you love it or hate
I mean, she is creepy as hell. That's what I will say.
it's definitely something that
What the fuck? That is one creepy ass looking female.
Cupboard. Whether you love it or hate it, it's definitely something that makes the Deep South different. The sports. Down south, it's all about college football. Not the NFL, not Major League Baseball, but college football with a little Roll Tide and Hotty Toddy. In fact, besides the Atlanta Braves, the rest of the Deep South doesn't even have a baseball team. College football isn't just a sport, a recreation, or a way for kids who play to avoid student loans. No. It's a religion. Saturdays are an all-day event, especially when tailgating in the Grove at Ole Miss. Forget the separation of church and state. When it comes to college football, winning leaves no stone unturned, even taking a knee to pray to the Almighty or plastering a locker room with posters quoting Ephesians. Now that we've explored the Deep South, if you want to hear about a complete opposite, click this image to learn more.
Oh, damn. Well, there you go. Top 10 racist towns. What makes me laugh is folks from outside the South that think the Southerners are all racist. If only they could travel and find out. Lol. I've lived all over the US and several countries and found that there are always the fools that think their opinion of others is correct because their peers tell them that. It's fair. If a lot of the Deep South looks like this image, this is amazing. Yeah, there was that, especially at the start. This one right at the start, I thought that this place looks beautiful to me. Just the scenery is unreal. And even like the roads to me, they don't look like, I don't want to say like stereotypical US roads, but they look a lot different to like what I feel like you usually see of US roads. But maybe not. I might be chatting shit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. Let me know your thoughts on this. And until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.